Chapter 5, 198. Three olds, three true inheritances. Using will, Fang Yuan worked hard to swim towards a jade light. This lump of jade light was harder to get closer to compared to the red light from before. It was flying slowly, continuously twisting and turning, as Fang Yuan chased after it for a while before managing to grab it. It was also as large as a bowl, and Fang Yuan's consciousness carefully entered it. An unspeakable force of vibration spread from the jade-green light into Fang Yuan's body. "Be careful, this is old immortal Kong Jua's item." In his mind, Mo Yao's will recognized this item and warned, "Don't worry, it cannot escape." Fang Yuan's tone was certain. He grabbed into this light lump tightly. "Idiot, I am not referring to that. Quickly let go." Mo Yao said this, but it was already too late. The mystical vibration spread from within the jade light, all the way into Fang Yuan's aperture. Fang Yuan's aperture started vibrating. In his 90% filled aperture sea, waves were crashing violently. Swish, swish, swish. The huge waves crashed on the surrounding aperture walls. The rank 5 peak stage crystal clear walls were starting to develop cracks from the pressure of the waves. Fang Yuan was shocked. This true inheritances test was very peculiar. It was hard to defend against. It actually directly affected the Goo Master's aperture. "Lad, quickly cut off your arms using goo worms. Only by making a sacrifice can you save your life." Mo Yao's will shouted in Fang Yuan's mind. "Cut off my arms?" Fang Yuan's expression sank. Sweat was forming on his forehead. He tried letting go of it, but this lump of jade light gave off an extremely strong suction force, keeping Fang Yuan's hands tightly attached to it. Fang Yuan could not get free from it, and the vibrations in his aperture were getting stronger. "I got it!" In the moment of crisis, Fang Yuan had an inspiration as he quickly moved the primeval essence in his second aperture into his first aperture. The vibration moved into the second aperture through the primeval essence. The second aperture also started vibrating uncontrollably, but this way the two apertures were enduring this together, and the first aperture's crisis was soothed to a great extent. Mo Yao gasped. As the jade light became dim and the vibrations vanished, it seemed that Fang Yuan had passed the test. "What is going on? You have two apertures?" Mo Yao said. With two apertures enduring the test together, although the aperture walls were cracked, they did not break. "Lad, you hid this very deeply. You actually have two apertures." "Second aperture. To think that the rumors that have been going around have been confirmed by you," Mo Yao said with deep emotions. Fang Yuan was not willing to talk about this. He asked instead, "You mentioned old immortal Kong Ju earlier. Is it that refinement path Supreme Grandmaster from the olden antiquity era?" "That's right. It's him. Refinement path Supreme Grandmaster. Even throughout human history, since ancient times, there had only been three. Future generations called them the Three Olds. They were the remote antiquity era's old eccentric Tiannan, olden antiquity era's old immortal Kongju, and medieval antiquity era's refinement path Supreme Grandmaster Long-Hair Ancestor." Mo Yao continued recounting. "Among them, old eccentric Tiannan had a weird personality. He tried to refine the sky and ended up losing his life. Old immortal Kong Jue had the deepest research in apertures. He created the eye and helped the 10 extreme physiques to become immortals. Before him, there had never been any cases where a person of the 10 extreme physiques rose to become an immortal. As for Long-Hair Ancestor, he had the longest lifespan and refined the most immortal Gubo. 88 True Yang building was refined by him. In fact, there were rumors that he could refine lifespan Gu, causing old ancestor giant sun to attack Lang Ya blessed land, although there were no results from that. Mo Yao talked about many famous pieces of information. Three old beings, three supreme refinement grandmasters. Each of them was a legend. They were the three peaks of refinement path in human history. Even ranked 9 venerables could not mask their glory and reputation. Old immortal Kong Ju's inheritance tests the fated person's aperture. You actually had two apertures. You managed to get through, luckily. "Look, this inheritance is very good. It will be a huge help to you," Mo Yao continued. Fang Yuan's consciousness went in again. This inheritance was known as the Immortal Ascension Vital Information. It recorded old immortal Kong Ju Yu's understanding of the immortal ascension process of all the different paths of Gu masters, all the difficulties they might face and how to deal with those difficulties. It listed the most crucial points for rising to immortal. Fang Yuan assessed in his heart. Although this is not a Gu recipe or an immortal Gu, it has a huge value in terms of theoretical guidance. If Gu masters get it, it will not only help themselves but even allow them to understand other paths. It is truly an important treasure. This immortal ascension vital information dates back to long ago. It might not be useful for the currently trending paths. After all, these years of development have caused the rise of many new paths. It is no longer as dull and simple as back in the olden antiquity era. What I want to remind you is, the essence of this inheritance is not the immortal ascension vital information itself, but Giant Sun Immortal Venerable's notes when he read through it. His assessment is like the summary of the most important points. It gets right to the point and is truly worth more than 1,000 gold. Mo Yao gave another shocking revelation. Old Immortal Kongzhou was a refinement path supreme grandmaster on par with long-hair ancestor. His research, along with the Immortal Venerable's notes, truly has immense value. When a Gu master reads it, it will greatly increase the chances of them successfully rising to immortal. In addition, using the perspective of an Immortal Venerable, they can develop in the right direction. Their Gu immortal journey would be guided, and they could avoid many pitfalls along the way. This inheritance had really shocking attraction, especially for geniuses like Fang Yuan, who desired to take one more step and was not satisfied with being immortal. But Fang Yuan did not choose it. He had his previous life's experiences. He could repeat his run on the blood path. He had other motives for coming into the true inheritance space. Thus, Fang Yuan let go and allowed the jade lump to fly away from him, at a speed faster than the red light as it went into an unknown zone. You are really giving it up? When you think about this in the future, don't regret it. In his mind, Mo Yao sighed. Regret? Heh, there is no such word in my life. Fang Yuan laughed lightly, continuing his search. Oh, he swam in the darkness for a while, discovering the third light lump. This light lump was shining with a gray light. Its speed was even faster than the first two light lumps. It was like a shooting star. As it flew into space, there was a frost-colored tail trailing behind it. Fang Yuan tried to get close to it, but Mo Yao said, Actually, you don't have to take such a risk every time. Since you have already collected many Wisdom Path Gu worms, why don't you display their true value? Oh, what do you mean? Fang Yuan's speed did not get any slower. Lad, thank me well. The move I'm going to teach you will allow you to avoid the test of the true inheritance and search for the content of the true inheritance directly. Mo Yao's method was not very complex. After Fang Yuan found the true inheritance light lump, the first step was for his consciousness to enter the lump, and that would trigger the test of the inheritance. Mo Yao's advice was to use wisdom, path Gu worms, to create wills. By injecting this will into the true inheritance, he would wait for a while before recalling it. This way, he would be able to avoid intimate contact with the true inheritance. It was an opportunist method. Wisdom path has thought, will, and emotion. The so-called mind is made up of heart sense and divine sense. When your mind enters, your thoughts are exploring and interacting. Thoughts are like water droplets. They are the easiest to create, and also the most fragile. Because the numbers are huge, the droplets will merge into a river and enter to do the investigation. During this process, the Gu Master's mind has to continue creating them without any pauses. As for will, they are superior to thoughts, like an ice cube. They have greater defense, but are harder to create. They can, however, move independently and recall when needed, Mo Yao explained. Fang Yuan was silent. Lad, at this point in time, why are you hesitating? Hey, I know you have been collecting information on Wisdom Path and also purchasing those Wisdom Path Gu worms. Your special Will Gu, deliberate Will Gu, play Will Gu, keep Will Gu, and new Will Gu are all useless now. When will you use them? Mo Yao laughed alluringly. Pausing for a while, she continued urging, Right now, you must already be clear. My will is residing in your mind. It is already deeply connected to you. When you use these goo to create wills, they would be pure and flawless. I cannot infiltrate them. Haven't you been wary of me? This method has a huge advantage. You can use it to avoid those true inheritance tests and check the secrets of the unparalleled inheritances. Unparalleled inheritance, they have much greater value than ordinary inheritances. What are you? Fang Yuan's gaze was hesitant. All along, he had never been so outspoken about his situation with Mo Yao. To think that Mo Yao would talk about it openly like this now. What was her true intention? Was it really like what she said? She only wanted to return the Rank 7 Immortal Goo House Water Pavilion back to Spirit Affinity House? Mo Yao's honest expression created ripples in Fang Yuan's heart. Maybe he was too vigilant and was too wary of Mo Yao. But wills were not like thoughts. Thoughts were simple and were not good at deception. A land spirit formed from obsessions only spoke the truth. But wills were different. They were the product of many thoughts fusing together. They were much more complex than thoughts. Thus, they could lie to others. Fang Yuan shook his head, sending these chaotic pieces of information out of his mind. Now was not the time to think about this. Honestly speaking, Mo Yao's words were truly useful in Fang Yuan's viewpoint. He was successfully convinced to attempt it. Fang Yuan took out the wisdom path goo worms that he had bought. He had the land spirit Little Hu Immortal and could connect to Treasure Yellow Heaven at any time. Standing on the foundation of a goo immortal, it was extremely easy for him to purchase mortal goo. Right now, the 8 wisdom path goo worms in his hands could produce wills, but they were all different. Special will goo could produce special wills. It could only be activated under special circumstances. Deliberate will goo could create deliberate wills. When such a will is produced, it would be like carvings on a steel board, extremely difficult to get rid of compared to other wills. Play will goo creates playful wills. It is the will that is most capable of creating emotions. There are also keep will goo, new will goo, battle intent goo, and others. What was worth mentioning was that these wisdom path goo worms could produce different types of wills that were effective against other wills. For example, special will goo can produce special wills, but can also devour special wills. Deliberate will goo can create deliberate wills. They were hard to get rid of, but if one uses the right methods and finds the deliberate will goo, it can be easily removed. Why did Fang Yuan buy these goo worms? It was because of this. He wanted to deal with Mo Yao's mysterious will, but he had already bought so many of these goo and discovered that none could deal with Mo Yao's will. With the current situation, choosing which will goo to use was not important. He casually chose the special will goo, injecting primeval essence as a will was formed. The appearance of the will was similar to Fang Yuan. He looked like a youth with dark, eerie eyes. But different from the main body, his face was more manly and had a more decisive expression. Wills can only reside within the soul. If you want to send this will out, you will need a small soul worm, Mo Yao reminded. Small soul goo was a rank 1 goo in Soul Path. It was very common but was the foundation of Soul Path. Many higher rank Soul Path goo worms were refined step by step with it as the foundation. Mo Yao's reminder was redundant. Before she finished speaking, Fang Yuan summoned a goo worm. It had no solid body. It was palm-sized and looked like a butterfly, flickering like light and shadow. If someone grabbed it, they would not be able to catch its hollow body. It was the rank 2 big soul worm. Fang Yuan patted it lightly, sending his special will into the big soul worm's body. Next, he used the big soul worm and made it fly to the closest lump of green-white true inheritance light lump. The big soul worm's speed was much faster than him moving alone. In just a short moment, it entered the true inheritance light lump, and a while later, the big soul worm with a tattered body flew back while wavering. Fang Yuan retrieved his will and looked. This third true inheritance was also an ordinary true inheritance, but to some goo masters, or even goo immortals, it had much greater value than the first 2 true inheritances.